Hi, we're Bill and Delci, and this week there's been a lot of good things.
Oh, Jesus, thank you for this new life.
And a lot of bad things.
She had 12 babies in her litter. She ended up laying on 8 of them, and so we're down to 4 on that litter. In the midst of that day, we had a tragic loss of probably the toughest, fastest horse that I've ever rode in my life.
And just when you think there might be a reprieve, things just keep getting worse. We're making a lot of progress on our property and in our life, but sometimes the setbacks can feel overwhelming and disheartening.
My feet hit harder than I thought they were doing. Oh my, that hurt.
We've got a lot going on, and colder weather and getting darker so much earlier certainly complicates things.
Can we kind of get on here just a second? You're fine.
Fortunately for us, we serve a big God and can always trust Him.
Like
Makes
you
me
were
wanna
saying
cry.
there,
But despite colder, darker, and some difficulties, there's always a reason to keep moving forward. Because with God, you can always land on your feet. Good morning, my friends. I hope you all are doing well today. It's a beautiful morning. I know Thanksgiving is over, but I've been working on continuing my thankfulness. We've had a pretty rough couple of weeks, but I wanted to show you some little blessings. They're so sweet. Come on. So the pigs are part of the heartbreak and the joy. We'll fill you in on that in just a bit. But the goats, they think I'm neglecting them. Look at them. I went to see the pigs first. Is that really bad, Faith? Yes. Oh, I didn't see you guys first. They're just starving, you know. Alright, guys. How are you this morning? How are you doing? Huh? Alright. Let's get you guys fed and milked. My delight. Good morning. Oh, look at this pile. I've got to get that cleaned up today. I have been keeping it away from the hay feeder because they always will waste hay. And so I've been piling it over here because some of the days we're just too busy to get to it. And actually right now the wheelbarrow is full of wood, so I don't even have access to the wheelbarrow, but I got to get that cleaned up today. But I'll be thankful in the spring that I kept up with it all. I'm proud of myself. Look at them all waiting so patiently. Waiting for their hay. Good morning, Olivia and Eva, Kira.
Say, take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new.
I go to the post office and anywhere, and I will have hay in my hair. It's guaranteed.
Every night when I close my eyes, I see beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so just do it.
You've been busy these last couple of weeks, haven't you? Haven't you, buddy? Yes. You stinky thing. You stinky thing. We hear you. We hear you. Hey, Eva. Eva. You're ignoring me. You're ignoring me. Don't ignore me. Come on. You being a stick. Don't ignore me. Now come on. Don't be obstinate.
Just close your eyes and know beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too. It's gonna take some time to get there. I don't care. I'm in for the fight.
Look who's here for a treat.
But I know that beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know
Alright, on to the second goat. Here we go. I'm coming, babe. Just a second.
beauty lives in me too. Beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too.
What? You need a snack? You get down. Come here, Evan. Come, Olivia. Olivia. Everyone's standing around watching. Alright. There you go. Snorting out there, huh? He's snorting. You watching me? Were you watching me? Were you spying on me? And you too? I don't know anything. You guys are spoiled. Alright, let's get one more in. You're still spying on me. Alright, Fiona, let's go. Come on. It's your turn, Fiona. Come on. Come on. Fiona, come on. Come on. Good job. Good job. Let's let you out. And you're still spying. It's become evident I'm going to need to work some more on my milking stand here. Okay, so I kicked all the chickens out because they were pooping on everything. It's driving me crazy. And now I have little birds, like little wild birds coming in here and pooping on everything. Look at this. All of that is little bird poop. I'm telling you, if it's not one thing, it's another. And up here, bird little poops all over up here. What in the world? And then one of the chickens pooped on Faith's picture, got knocked down, and so I'm gonna have to redo that. So I think this is my idea. I think I'm gonna get some rubber mats to put down on the base here so that it'll protect the wood, but also I'll be able to pull it up and really like take them outside, beat them, rinse them off really well and clean them. Because it's honestly right now when I clean these, because it's just so dusty in here, it just becomes mud when I clean it. So it's kind of frustrating, but I think that might be a good idea. And then I'm gonna laminate all my pictures. I don't know why I didn't do that. I need to laminate them and put them back up so then they'll be protected for when the chickens poop on them or something. So those are some ideas. And I still have, over here is my junk corner. I need to get and that's another project that I would like to do, is make my grain bin area that will house all a little bit of extras and the grain and just look nice, because this is an ugly corner here. But those are some ideas that I have. I suppose you all want a treat. You'll eat some grain out of my hand. You want some too?
I didn't get any.
Poor Delight. They're stealing your grain, aren't they? Look at all these moochers. Look at all these moochers. I'm telling ya. And then there's the one spying around the corner over there. Yes. All right. Ready? Number 1. Same. Everyone had the same answer. Same.
20, 30, 40.
Praise him, all you little children. God is love, God is love. Praise him, all you little children. God is love, God is love. We're taking our bale stacker to its new home for the winter. It broke down here and we're finally going to be getting it to its new home, so hopefully it starts and we can get it over there without any problems. All I can say is equipment is stressful. I'm telling you, old equipment. I guess that's why people pay $200,000 for new hay equipment. But if we can get this old stuff to just work and run right, it wouldn't be so bad. At least it looks like we're on the road. Thank you, Jesus. Help it to go well. Help us to get where we need to. It's actually not very far where we need to go.
Wish everything wouldn't break down as much.
I bet he's sweating bullets up there too. Just hoping it will get there. There's the shed right there.
There's one more monkey all the way back.
So we've had a lot going on the last week or so on our little property here. And one of the things that has been, it seems like, you know, that blessing and kind of the heartbreak is the pigs.
Yeah, let's see, be a week and about 2 days ago, I was in Miles City helping with a rodeo Bible camp. Inevitably, if I would need anything to full farrow our calf, all I have to do is leave and it'll happen. Anyway, while I was gone, the old sow, and she's probably 700 plus pounds, she had 12 babies in her litter, 12 piglets in her litter, which is a really nice litter. Unfortunately, the shed that I built wasn't geared for the size of the sow, and so she ended up laying on 8 of them, and so we're down to 4 on that litter. And so then 2 days ago,
the thing with that, you know, it's one of those things, we don't plan on having 700-pound pigs. That's like, we know that she was too large. We bred her late, and we were hoping to, you know, get one last litter out of her, and then, you know, we were hoping that would go well. But she was like a beached whale in there. You know, I don't know, it was just horrific. I just can't believe and what happened. It was so disheartening. And
yeah, because I mean, even financially, then you start thinking about that. You know, you need the pigs obviously to make a profit, but also you fed that sow all along. and so you know there's a profitability aspect in it, not just only loss of food.
And then we have two others that we knew were going to be farrowing. We knew the date on the one. This was our first farrowing year, right? And so we saw her bred. We wrote it down. She wasn't supposed to be farrowing for at least a week or more, I believe.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah, it would have been Saturday night, and I go out to do chores, and it was odd because the boar and the other gilt come out of the lean-to, but she didn't, and she'd been bagging up, so I knew she was getting close, but like we said, we thought we had another week to prepare for this, and I was still scrambling anyway because I only got one farrowing shed at this time. Anyway, so I go into this farrowing, or into the lean-to, or the A-frame, excuse me, it's an A-frame shed, and it's just a loafing shed for him, and lo and behold, there she is, and she already has 2 piglets on the ground. We're scrambling as a family to try to figure out how to keep the other ones out of there, because inevitably if the boar and that other gilt in there, there's a good chance that they will eat and kill the piglets that she had. So we did a makeshift screw some boards up, kind of make a I don't know what you'd call it, called keep the gilt in there, and then got some railing in there. And I was actually just out here before I came in trying to get a little more things done so I can get a heat lamp in there. So with her, she had 4 piglets, and then unfortunately one of them just this morning, Delci did the A-team effort to feed it and keep it warm and stuff, but unfortunately it died, so we lost one there. And so that being our first litter isn't surprising. It was a smaller litter, but anyway, so yeah, you lose another piglet, and but fortunately we still have 7 of them, and we can keep rolling and you know, feed them out and provide for ourselves and our family, but also have them as a source of income down the road.
And I think that's what we're really, you know, been trying to work towards all our lives. And, you know, I think we've realized that our attitudes and our thankfulness and the way we handle these things are definitely a practice thing. Like, it doesn't come naturally to rejoice and be thankful when bad things happen. And we had something a couple weeks ago that happened, and it was alarming. It was about 6:50 in the morning. My dad called me, which was quite odd. That's not a normal thing. And I'm like, why is he calling? So I answered, and first thing he says is, "Delci, your pickup's on fire." I race out of bed. I tear around the corner, and Bill, the pickup's on fire. And he races down. What was the deal with that? What did you do that morning?
Well, it was about 6:10 that morning. I plugged it in. I left out of the house at 6 o'clock in the morning to go do chores and feed the horses and plug the pickup in. It's a diesel because it was colder, and so it guaranteed that it'd start. And yeah, it was about 6:40, 6:50 when Delci's dad called and said the pickup's on fire. So tore out there, and I went down to, I guess, assess the situation. And so it was either the cord or the head bolt heater or the combination of it that caught it on fire. And yeah, I mean, by the time I got there, it was way out of, I mean, it wasn't out of control, but it was definitely burning enough that I couldn't do anything about it. And so then I actually did get in the back seat. I had a bunch of tack, bridles, coats, and other stuff in there, and I went in one dive in and got a whole armful, and it was smoke filled, but I got what I could and threw it out. And I went in the second time and got an armful more, and I threw it out. And in the midst of that time, the front window had finally fell out, and it blasted me with a bunch of heat and smoke. So I decided it's probably not wise to go back in, but I do think I got all my tack and bridle and stuff out of there. But by the time the fire department got here, you know, it was too far gone to do anything with it.
I was in shock, and I think both of us, and you didn't even have your phone to even get a video of it happening. And I wish so much that we had, because it was so like encompassing. And then the black smoke that just billowed out of it, and you know, the tires popping, and I mean, it was just big explosions, and it was just a crazy morning.
First, I want to say though, you know, I do want to say that kudos to the fire department and law enforcement. We've been in a time when our public officials and public officers and law enforcement have kind of been frowned upon and looked down on. And I'll tell you what, in a moment like that, and I hadn't been looking down on them, I honor them even prior to this, but I'll tell you what, in a moment like that, when you see 4 or 5 fire trucks show up and 2 or 3 sheriff's departments and compassionate. They weren't, you know, they weren't just here doing their job so many of them says, man, I'm sorry to see this happening, and really I want to say, you know, kudos to the law enforcement.
I think let's go down the lane and we'll show you the aftermath. We'll have the pickup hauled off soon, but this is what it looks like. So we'll head down the lane and show you what happened. But we also just want to say that there's good things that have happened out of this. And again, we are practicing our thankfulness. We are practicing our ability to see the good in this and to not completely want to give up, to completely just be angry about everything, and on and on. So I hope that in the long run this will encourage you that when bad things happen, it's not the end of the world, and we can pick ourselves up, we can keep moving forward, and God can redeem what happens in our lives. So let's go look at it.
So to be honest, after this happened, we were both pretty shook up about it. It's not something that you expect to happen, and honestly, we didn't have comprehensive on this pickup, so we still owed on this pickup, and so it was just a huge weight of life. Why did this happen? Why do bad things keep happening? Was kind of the theme of our thoughts. And as I was pondering this, a very sharp reality came into focus for me as I was thinking about this pickup. You know, when the end is here, whatever that looks like, whenever that is, the reality is that everything in life is going to be burned up, except for the things that had eternal lasting value. You know, this pickup was going to be burned up anyway in the end. And most of our life, you know, the fences we're building, the barns we're creating, the animals, all of our livelihood will be burned up, except for the things that we've done for His glory and in His name. And that was something that was really important for me to think about. Because the reality is, like Bill shared, there's a lot of memories, there's a lot of life that happened in this pickup. And it's that life that has eternal value. The ministry that was shared in this pickup, and the friendships that were built, the places that it took, mostly Bill. I was there for quite a bit of it, but mostly Bill was the one that was going to the ranch rodeos and going to minister to people in this pickup. Those are the things that won't burn up. And that is encouraging. That is what we all need to be thinking about. We may be building our fences. We may be building barns for animals. We may be doing life. But while we're doing life, are we doing it for His glory? Are we doing it with His help? Are we inviting Him into everything that we're doing so that we can say that it is for Him, that He's helping us, that we're calling on Him, praying to Him, and really just living for Him in every moment? Because when it all is burned away, when it's all washed away, that is what will remain. And I hope that that's a good reminder for you as well as you go about your life. And when bad things happen, because they will, bad things just do happen in this world, but we can't let them become our stopping point. We can't let them become the place that ruins us, or that tells us that we're not worth it, we're not special, we're not anything. We have to remain in Him and remember that no matter what happens, we have to be willing to surrender to Him and be thankful, to rejoice always, to pray without ceasing, and in everything give thanks. And I think that brings us to one last thing, that just the redemption of God too. Oh, it's been a month or two ago.
It was July 30th of this year. I went to a ranch rodeo and I loaded cattle in this pickup and a trailer. And I had a friend of mine, he was hauling the horses, and we were competing there also, besides me contracting some of the cattle to it. Anyway, in the midst of that day, we had a tragic loss of probably the toughest, fastest horse that I've ever ever rode in my life, and I've rode a lot of horses, and there again, it's just kind of a financial hit. Well, my friend that was hauling him, he worked really hard and diligently to do all he could to make sure that the insurance company would try to back it, and it was looking kind of hopeless in a lot of different ways. But here about a week and a half ago, I got a call from the insurance company, and they were still working on it. And then just today, I got a text from the insurance company, and they give me a figure that they were going to pay out on this horse. And to be honest, it was superseded what I had told them the estimated value of it was. And so with all that said, it's going to allow us to get this pickup paid off and get some other bills paid off and really get us back down to zero as far as our debt, except for the house. And you know, we just, I guess the one thing that I keep thinking about is just really the Bible talks about how borrow is servant to the lender. And when I owe money, or when we owe money collectively together as a husband and wife, as a family, it surely consumes a lot of our mind. And I think it really truly does steal a lot of creativity from us, because we're thinking about that as opposed to you know, what we really were created to do. So I guess with that, you know, it just shows that God still does exceedingly abundantly more than we can ask or imagine, according to the power that's within us. And you know, that horse, just as much as this pickup, will always hold a spot in my heart and definitely be missed. But on the other hand, a lot of memories there also, and just truly the ministry that horse may still be providing even after the loss in a lot of different ways. So.
And one thing that kept coming to me about this whole thing, when I seeing the full picture of it, we didn't know that horse was going to die, and we didn't know that our pickup was going to burn up, but Jesus did. And because of that horse death, he provided a way out. He provided the ability for us to then pay off this pickup, and it was through that death that brought life. And I don't know, that seems so symbolic in a way, just because that's exactly what Jesus did.
Absolutely. That's what I was just thinking as you said that you know, that death has really paid our debt. And you know, that's exactly like
Makes
you
me
were
wanna
saying
cry.
there. It's exactly what Jesus did. His death paid our debt, and debt we couldn't truly pay. And really, in kind of a way, you know, this pickup was, I mean, it wasn't overwhelming, but it was definitely something that was in our life. And so just, you know, I think it's really, we just have to watch what God's doing. It doesn't always happen the way we want it to, but at the end of the day, you know, He causes all things to work together to good to those who love Him and are called according to His purposes.
Yeah.
We've tortured the horses enough with our talk. Now we're gonna feed them. And look at that wild bovine. I know I'm not going in there.
My feet hit harder than I thought they were doing. Oh my, that hurt.
Oh no! You know, as I'm hauling this water to my chickens, ducks, and turkeys, you know, it's been a pretty good day, and it's a pretty good evening. It's a beautiful evening, so we have a lot to be thankful for. Just finishing up chores. I hope you've had a good day too, and that you are mightily blessed in all that you do.